Hey everyone, my name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. It's been a week, hasn't it? It's continuing to be a week. It's about 3 in the afternoon on Thursday when I'm filming this. I think I'm going to have another evening like I did last night. I took a lorazepam and had a beer and just watched movies because I can't hack it, like, at all. So today's song of the week is appropriate, and I didn't expect it to be this appropriate, but it popped up again, and it's one of my favorite songs to sing along to. Like, the louder the better. This whole set, I should have pulled it out. It's a 3 CD set from Verve, the complete Ella Fitzgerald songbooks. I love her so much. This is I'm Beginning to See the Light, and I really hope that this comes true for us as a country. America, oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm picking that one for my song of the week. Enjoy singing along at the top of your lungs. If you're bad, you'll get better the more you do it. It's just glorious fun to sing along to. So there you go. My mom is doing better, still on the upswing. She drove twice this week now, and it was okay. It still hurt a lot, but it was all right. So just slowly but surely getting there. And she's reading again, which is a good sign, so I know she can concentrate and whatever. Yeah, okay, so I've got books to haul because of course I do, and then I've got ones I finished. I think I'll do the books I read first, like I usually do. So first up, this is off of memory, so bear with me. It is A Pint of Murder by Charlotte Macleod / Alisa Craig. This is the first in the Janet and Maddox Reese series. I read the first one by accident a couple of weeks ago, so I went back to correct my wrong, and this one was only okay. So we start with Janet, and she's living in the country, and I don't know what province they're in, Canada, living with cousins, I believe, and the neighboring farm. It's a very small town, and they all know each other, of course, but the neighboring farm, she goes over to drop off, I think, some bread that she had just baked for them or something, and goes into the kitchen and finds the grandmother dead on the floor of apparent, like, a heart attack or something. But Janet knows better and knows that she was meticulous about canning her vegetables, and she always cut her beans in a specific way. So she goes to the basement storage, and sees that there is one jar there that is cut incorrectly, and that the incorrect cut matches the beans that were smashed on the floor next to this body. So Janet knows right away that she was murdered and poisoned somehow. So botulism is the name of the game, but the small town medical examiner and police officer don't want to think that. So that's the initial crime, and then the doctor in town is found dead, also by Janet. Not the same way though, not poisoned the same way. And then a third body shows up, and just before the second body shows up, Detective Maddox Reese appears from the mounted police, and he is staying with Janet and her family, and he says, pretend that I am your cousin and not the police officer. I want everyone to be relaxed around me and speak frankly, because we're chasing down this really bad criminal that we know is staying in town here, and I'm trying to get information. So that's how they initially meet. Reese falls for her immediately. It takes her quite a bit longer, I mean, to the end of the book. So it was nice to see how they met and how their relationship started. The mystery itself, I did not guess at all, and that is possible. I'm really hoping that it's because I was sleeping. So this was a Kindle book again, so I was reading it when I was trying to fall asleep, and I tend to miss things occasionally. Usually I back up enough till I remember, and then I go forward, but this was a little confusing. There were a lot of people in the town, and a lot of relations, but not all were cousins to each other in the same way. And then one family has a bad reputation in town, but then a good family is hooked to them secretly, we find out later. And there's something about a missing patent that someone's looking for that's really worthless, but why does this man want it so bad if it's worthless? And This was probably written in 78 or 79. I don't know. I think if I had read it properly, like in a book, or just read it being totally conscious all the time, I probably would have figured it out, but I didn't, which was a nice surprise because usually I figure out who did it. But it was fine. It wasn't great. There was a lot of hopping all over the place. There was a lot of confusion. And after I read it and decided on my rating, I marked it on Goodreads as read, and then I went through to see reviews of people, and a lot of them gave it 1 or 2 stars. Most were 3. I thought, okay, it's not just me then, but so at least I fixed that. I don't know if I'll continue the series. I don't know if I will read something of hers again. I have a feeling I will, just because she's written quite a few and I enjoy mysteries, so we'll see. But so far, A Pint of Murder is 2 stars. Next up is the 4th in the Series of Unfortunate Events series by Lemony Snicket, The Miserable Mill. The kids this time get shipped off to Lucky Smells lumber mill, and under the guise of some supposed extended family member, and he puts them to work in the mill. Keep in mind they're a baby and what, 7 and 12 or something? I forget their exact ages, but they're young kids. So they stay in the dormitory with the other workers. They get paid in coupons like the other workers do, and all the owner of the mills knows is that Count Olaf is trying to get the kids, so he's not going to let them get taken by him because he knows what Count Olaf looks like. But that's of course not the case, and of course Count Olaf shows up. So he just can't help himself, can he? So it was interesting. I liked the hypnosis that was happening. That was, I thought, a neat little twist and not what I expected necessarily. And I liked that Sunny is speaking a little bit more intelligibly, or like getting closer to words, it sounds like, now that she's getting, you know, she must be close to a year now, I'm assuming. That was cute. They're nice, easy reading. I don't think it's anything taxing or anything. I know I'm not the target audience. I realize I'm about 30 years too old for the target audience, but they're just fun little mysteries about these poor miserable orphans trying to get through life and just find a safe place to live and, you know, all that stuff. So enjoyable, 3 stars. Again, I'll just keep casually reading these as they come up available in my library over ebook. So that's that one. Then I finished Freya of the 7 Isles by Joseph Conrad. This is part of the Melville House Publishing Art of the Novella series, the classic series. They also have a modern series, which I'm not really into. So there's this one. I know I started reading this for something for BookTube, I think in September. I don't remember at all. It doesn't matter. Anyways, this story is about, there's an omniscient narrator that sort of fades away after a while and then shows up again near the end. And he's being told the tale of what happened to Freya of the 7 Isles. I don't know if this is a real area in, is it Polynesia? I don't even know. This is terrible. Exotic maritime setting. Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to read you the inside flap here on these things. I'm sorry. I don't know how else to describe this book succinctly. Okay. It's a Conradian romance. I didn't know that he was known for writing romances, but whatever. A sweeping saga set in the Indian Ocean basin, there we go, against a turbulent background of barely suppressed hostilities between Dutch and British merchant navies, told by one of Conrad's classic detached narrators. In the end, the unique perspective of the sharply etched character of Freya is one of Conrad's most piercing studies of how the lust for power can drive men to greatness or its opposite. So Freya is sort of the central character here. There is I forget if he's Dutch. English? English. There is a younger English shipman who is in love with Freya. She is in love with him. It's just Freya and her father living on this island with natives and helpers and things. And the father has no idea that they're in a love affair together, these two. He wants her to marry this Dutchman named Nielsen or no, it doesn't matter. This older man that she is not into at all. He is mean and nasty and drinks heavily and is sneaky and creepy and gross. But this guy, because he is sneaky and creepy and gross, finds out that these two young people are in love and that Freya is planning to run away with him. Not when he's there this time, but the next time that the ship gets docked. She's going to run away with him, leave her father behind, leave everyone behind on the island, and go and marry him and live with him because they're so rapturously in love. So he uses this, catches them together. The lover leaves, seemingly normally, you know, in the next morning. And Freya thinks that she is in the clear and that this creepy dude is not going to really do anything to her or him. And they've come to an understanding. And the father is starting to see that maybe this guy is not the greatest guy he is intended for her. Maybe this younger man is what she should be going for. Doesn't matter. Then we follow the two men on their individual ships and they catch up. And what the nasty man does to the lover is totally crappy and terrible. And then we catch up with Freya via like letters written back and forth. You hear about her. So this was actually very good. I've only ever read Heart of Darkness by him, and that was forced reading in high school and college. So I did enjoy this. 3.5 stars, maybe up to 4. It has the feel of Heart of Darkness in a weird way, and it has that a little bit of a dude bro feel to it somehow, and that women are just chattel, you know. But I did like it, and I would happily read something else from him in the future. I think I have another one by him in this series. Is it The Duel? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But I did enjoy this, and if you were into a short story, this is about 150 pages, and this sounds interesting. I recommend picking it up. It's worth a shot. It's certainly not being talked about that much here, but it was good. Okay, and then I finally finished this one. This is The Haunting of Tramcar015 by P. Jelly Clark. I just found out after reviewing this, 4 stars by the way, that this is the second in the same universe. So I'm going to have to backtrack to the first novella and see what that was like. And then I think catch up with his work from here on out. I loved his writing. I thought this was fabulous. He could be a new auto-buy author for sure. So this has been around BookTube fairly recently. It's been out for just over a year, year and a half. It's set in an alternate version of Cairo in the early 1900s, like 1910-ish, 1912. There is a tramcar. There's a tramcar system that runs all over Cairo. That's electric, and they're all on preset paths, etc. However, there is a bureau of, oh my gosh, the Ministry of Alchemy, Enchantments, and Supernatural Entities. So these two men, a senior officer and then a newbie who's assigned with him, get assigned the case to investigate this supposedly haunted tramcar. So they go there and think that it is a djinn. So they go to try and figure out how to trap this djinn, and they attempt. It fails spectacularly, and they realize that it's not a djinn, it's something else entirely. So with the help of a waitress who is not quite what she seems, and some various women's groups around Cairo, they attempt to figure out what this is, and then once they do, they attempt to trap it and send it back to where it came from. So I like the casual acceptance of magic and magical beings. I like that it's also, they also talk about women's right to vote. That's the vote is happening within the time frame of this novella, and that gets resolved. It was just fascinating. It was so entertaining. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I really liked this book. I'm tempted to start buying them, but $15 for this little novella. I don't know if I can hack it, but maybe used? I don't know. Anyways, I'll be investigating more of his work in future for sure, and really enjoyed this. Also, thanks to like 7 different booktubers who I don't remember everyone's names. I know Shannon at That Soap Ho read and reviewed it, and Rachel at Colonnati did. Kazen, I don't know if you did or not. Always doing, I don't know. But really, thank you so much. It was really fabulous. Really great. And the last one I read seems like a bit of a cheat, but I did read every single recipe in here, and that's Jennifer Paterson's seasonal receipts. I don't think I will ever make anything in this book. It's more old-fashioned, which is why I read it. I really appreciate the old-fashionedness of it, of the recipes, how simple they are, how varied the meats are that are used. I mean, tons of different fish, tons of different protein and stuff, lots of different game. We don't have that these days anymore, at least not in the States. It's not a common thing to eat quail or monkfish. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just not classy enough, but I really liked this. I, of course, know her from Two Fat Ladies. I love that show. She and Clarissa just crack me up. So this was really entertaining to read. I was hoping to find some autumn things to cook, and nothing really hit the bill. I don't know. Sudden Death, which looks like a bread, like a zucchini bread or whatever, but it's walnuts, glacé cherries, rum, digestive biscuits or cookies, chocolate, butter, and caster sugar. That just seems like a richer fruitcake, and that's not what I'm looking for at this point. So it was interesting. I'm glad I read it. I've had it for a long time, so glad to have this one checked off, and maybe I'll go through a little bit more and reread other seasons and see if there's something in there that I would make. Otherwise, I'll just hang on to this because I'm a nostalgic weirdo and I got it from the UK. I don't know. So that's everything I read this week. On to my acquisitions. Yeah, could be worse. It's been worse. It's also been better. So thank you so much, everyone. The last couple of weeks, I've asked for recommendations from Litsy Kleypas. I just read Suddenly You and really enjoyed it. And I've heard lots of people say the Wallflower series is great. That is next on my list. But I did get this duology, mostly based on Shannon from That Sopo, from her recommendation. Hey, Shannon. I have the first book, which is Then Came You, and then the second one, which is Dreaming of You. I'm not sure what they're about. I don't really care, but it's just these two books together, so I will happily give them a shot. Then, also from Paperback Swap, this unexpectedly autographed copy of Ghosts of Greenglass House by Kate Milford. I have not read Greenglass House yet, but I have a feeling I'm going to really enjoy it. Middle grade. I don't think it's YA, is it? Where the line is exactly between those two, I'm not sure. But this is the second in the series. I think I'm going to enjoy it. And there's a third one, too, called Blue Crown, I didn't know about. So I'll get to that eventually. Then from Book Depository, I did get the second book in this series, From Notting Hill to New York, actually, by McNamara. I still have not found my original copies of the first two, but I'm sure now that I have them both, it'll be appearing shortly. Then there's this one, which I've never heard anyone talk about before, but I love this imprint from Dean Street Press. It's Furrowed Middlebrow. This book is A Chelsea Concerto by Frances Faviell, I'm not sure which. This is her memoir. She lived in Chelsea before, during, and after the Blitz, and she has this green ceramic cat that stayed watch over her apartment. So as bombs were falling, she was out nursing and trying to help people. So this is her memory of the Blitz. It just sounds so interesting. Thank you so much for Middlebrow for putting it on my radar, because I don't think I would have found out about it otherwise. So looking forward to this one. And then this, I wish I knew why I felt the need to order this immediately. I don't know where I found out about this author from. I don't know how I found this book. Genuinely, in the last week, I have no idea. But this is a first edition used. Obviously, it's out of print. River of Hidden Dreams by Connie Mae Fowler. I remember looking at the rest of her work and thinking, that doesn't interest me at all. Like, the subject matters don't interest me. But this one did. And I wish I could remember how or why or where I found out about it, but whatever. So, I'll read you the flap. Okay, so set along the waters and coasts of southern Florida, This is more than a love story. It's the rapturous tale of Sadie Hunter, a free spirit who discovers the balance between freedom and romance and the rich connection between past and present. So she's in love with a man and she doesn't know it. She is part mulatto, part Plains Indian. She's afflicted with a certain resistance to love. In addition to a quilt emblazoned with details of their strange history and a boat built by her grandmother's lifelong unrequited lover, the two women left Sadie the curse of unyielding, this is a horrible font, by the way, unyielding orneriness as far as romance is concerned. While Sadie sifts through the enchanted, often painful memory stories that have been passed down to her, she wonders whether history is indeed repeating itself with her and Carlos, her passionate Cuban suitor. To lift the curse of the past and cut away the thorns around her heart, Sadie agrees to sail with Carlos on a voyage of discovery from Key West to St. Augustine, where the truth about her family awaits. The voyage will prove to be an odyssey in which the utterly unexpected holds sway, and redemption shimmers all along the vast blue curve of the horizon. It sounds interesting and almost like it will be magical realism, but I don't think that it is. I think this is just literary fiction or, fiction. Has anyone read this or her? Have you guys seen anyone else talk about this author? Maybe that will help me trigger to find out where I found out about her from. I don't know. So this is on my shelves now. That's how I work. All right. That's all I've got. I've got an announcement coming up for my Tuesday video. Yeah, let's hope we all get through the rest of this week soon, sanely. Let's all be kind to each other. It's been a lot, no matter where you stand. Yeah. Let's try and cruise into the end of the year, like smoothly and kindly and nicely with grace and ease. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all staying safe, and I hope you're all staying sane. Good luck with that. And I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye.